Taurus.
Hello Taurus, this is your astrological forecast for June 2016. And so how has May been working out for you with 5 retrogrades? So it has really slowed things down here a little bit for us all, but now at least in June, Mercury's up and running, going direct again ever since May 22nd. So that should be picking up some speed there for you. And Mercury being here in your first house right now as it's moving forward again, it gave you a little extended time, didn't it? They're in the area of your personality, so it gave you time to really rethink and redo and tweak those things that were important to you on a very personal matter there, Taurus. But the Sun and the new moon and Venus now is in your second house for money, income, those things that are important to you as far as all those values that you hold close to heart. And having the Sun in this area will allow you to focus on how you can tweak your money matters that much more. And having it in passing through the sign of Gemini allows you also to communicate these needs a little bit more. So having Venus here too, Venus rules this area. So you're doubly empowered. It is also your ruler. So June should be a good business month for you, especially for those of you who have your own businesses. I feel that this is a time where you can radiate, you can shine, you can make things really grow and expand, especially now also because Jupiter turned direct again there May 9th, picking up speed slowly but surely, but now also expanding this whole area for you where Jupiter is. And for you, this has to do with your creativity, your self-expression, the businesses that you own, children and so forth. You might see how now all of this is picking up, allowing you to integrate and express so much more of what it is you want to do. So you might want to ask yourself here, Taurus, what else is it that you would like to perform? This would be the month to really listen to those inner thoughts, that creative little voice that's picking you on the shoulder and say, how about doing it this way or that way? Whatever changes now are coming up for you might be worth listening to, but you absolutely don't have to act upon it this month. And in fact, I would say if you can act upon it a little bit later in the year, that would behoove you even more, just because we still have retrogrades going on. And especially, you know, Mars, which has to do with our directions, our goals, our ambitions, and so forth, will be retrograde to June 29th. So it's not really a good time to start anything new, but oh, listen to those thoughts. Because Venus is definitely very active, and in this favorite position of your chart, you can definitely download good ideas that you can act upon later. The new moon in this area, it's a time to put down your intentions, Taurus. This will be on June 4th. So, and write that abundance check to yourself if you so do. This would be the day to do it. And having the new moon in the sign of Gemini, 14 degrees, any planets you have 14 degrees in your chart will be affected by the new moon. And of course, it always indicates new beginnings, right? So pay attention to the 4th. Any ideas, especially that comes up towards your personal finances, should be a great thing. Mars right now is cruising through your 7th house of love and romance, your significant other, any type of partnerships. Mars is your goals, it's your aims, it's your drive, it's that physical energy and passion that we have. Well, it is focused on your partner. But it being retrograde might allow you and your partner extended time to look at where you're at. What is it you both want? This is a time for you to negotiate, discuss, try to get onto the same page, and also looking to the past, these last few months, the last 6 months or so, what you have talked about as far as mutual goals, now is the time to fine tune it. So by the end of the month and coming into the rest of the summer, you might be able to take off on wings totally in alignment if you make this energy work for you. But don't start anything new before after the 29th of June though. Jupiter, like I said, is moving forward. It is in your 5th house for self-expression, your children. You might see that there's more taking place in their life as well, where you can come in and become a little more supportive, or they will also be more supportive of you and what you're doing. But it's a time to really enjoy yourself. Jupiter has been retrograde since that from New Year's till now. So if you feel that things have been a little slow, a little down, and not much elbow room, that has just been Jupiter. But for the rest of the year, you're good to go. The 5th house has to do with those things you love to do when you have time off. Leisure things, sports and hobbies and so forth. So, and even travel. Jupiter rules travel, so you might be finding yourself traveling with your partner a little bit extra from now and as we go through summer. Saturn is retrograde until August 12th and 13th, depending on where you live in the world. Saturn for you is in your 8th house. That has to do with money that you hold with your partner, shared resources. It could be royalties, commissions, Taurus. If you've been feeling that this has also been a little slow in the sharing part, well, it's all due to the retrograde. So there's still a couple of months here with that before it's going to be picking up speed. But when it's retrograde, it's actually the universe giving you the opportunity to look back to the past. You know, the last year, 2 years, could be even further in the past, looking to what opportunities that might have presented itself and you didn't act on them. Maybe they will resurface at this time, and you might be reevaluating whether you want to do something differently. And if so, all that is good. Just wait to implement it until, say, September. Then you're good to go. Uranus is in your 12th house. It is moving direct, one of the few moving direct right now, which is in the area of your dreams, your subconsciousness, your spirituality and so forth. So all this is here awake. Pay attention to your dreams. Some of you might get lucky and really find some great guidance through inspiration, intuition, dream time, that kind of thing. Those visions that you receive, well, they hold a punch. Neptune retrograde and will be retrograde to November 20th. This is in your 11th house, which deals with hopes and dreams. It's also a circle of friends, friendships, and so forth, and groups too. Now, when it's retrograde, we want to always look at Neptune from both of its dimensions. Each planet has a higher and a lower frequency. The higher dimension of Neptune is being able to see things very clearly, clairvoyantly, right, with vision, inspiration, with love and harmony. It's the higher octave of Venus, in fact. So, and it's your creativity. Now, when it's retrograde, you might just find those things falling a little short, or kind of like just drizzling apart a little bit. Think about leaky energy there with Neptune. So you might feel that this area might be a little slow, or that there's not as much interaction with your friends. Maybe they're off doing their thing because they have retrograde going on too, right? We all do. So it's just listen to the music, do the dance, don't push ahead too much, don't take things too personally, because you might feel a little hurt too. Can be, not saying you will be, but you can be when things are retrograde, if you take it personally, that your friends might be a little bit more quiet throughout this time. But it's not personal, it's just that they're off doing their thing. Then we have Pluto. Pluto is retrograding in your 9th house, having to do with higher education, might have to do with publishing, lawsuits, visas, long distance travel, journey, family, friends in faraway places, other countries. Now, this is your area of growth and expansion. your higher spirituality too. So this is an area also now that is slowed down, and Pluto will retrograde to September 26th. So as you can see, it's a very slow time for us all. But you know what? Make that work for you, Taurus. It's more a time to reflect, go back over. It's a karmic time in so many ways too, where situations, people, and places will come back and knock on your door so that things can be healed and cleared out. So when all of these are happening simultaneously, it also means that when they all move direct, they'll all be direct, and then it's time to spread one's wings, okay? So be patient with yourself. When we start off the month, now June, just like May had a lot of opportunity there in those first couple of weeks, June is a little different. June is going to give us a few tests. I won't say tribulations, but a little bit of testing going on. On the first, we have both the Sun and Venus squaring off on Neptune. So it's really important that you listen to what is being said so miscommunications don't happen. Not only with Mercury retrograde does that happen with miscommunications, but Neptune, see, might present something that sounds really good, or you're taking it as like, wow, this is great, but then maybe you weren't taking it in correctly, or maybe you might be the one not communicating clearly enough to somebody else because it's squared, meaning something is slipping or leaking somewhere, and that can cause a little bit of a conflict, because when we look to the third of the month, those two planets, Sun and Venus squaring off on Neptune, they will be opposing Saturn. Saturn being karmic, Saturn being our inner sense of authority, might say, well, hold a second, you said this on the first, and here reality is this, right? So it might catch you a little bit off guard, or vice versa to the other person, but both Venus and the Sun will be opposing that Saturn. So here we go, karma on the 3rd. On the 9th, Mercury, which rules communication, will be opposing Mars. This can be a little bit of a stressful day because your mind might be going 100 miles a minute down that direction, where Mars is going off on that direction. And when we're split like this, it's really hard to focus directly on what is at hand. So just be careful on this day that you're not that distracted, and so that you're not paying attention to where you are, especially in traffic, okay? On the 12th, though, here's a little break. After 12 days of being tested, this is Venus and Uranus, and we love when they work together harmoniously. Venus, which rules love and romance, but also your finances, and Uranus coming in with the unexpected factor, the wow factor. So this could be good news. On the 14th, the Sun will also receive the same aspect here from Uranus. So this too could be happy news. Venus in your chart is the 2nd house, Uranus being in your 12th house. So it should definitely be something about money, security, those things that are important to you and that you value close to heart. So beautiful couple of days there. On the 17th, mind you, we have Saturn and Neptune squaring off on each other. And I'm feeling what is going to take place here between the 17th and the 20th. Not only just on a personal matter here with you in your life, but for all of us globally, there might be a situation. Saturn is authority. It's also governments. Here we have Neptune, which, and both of them being retrograde, right, might bring up political issues from the past that now might be a little explosive. Neptune rules water and gases and whatnot, and so it's a little bit of a special time, I'd like to say. And then on the 20th, Mercury will both be opposing Saturn and squaring off on Neptune. So that is news. Mercury's always the news bringer. So we might read about something globally taking place there. But in our own personal lives, it's time to look at what we're communicating, because it is Mercury. And we want to be sure that we're clear, that we're specific, And whenever in doubt, just verify with your partner that he or she is hearing you correctly, and vice versa. If you're doubting something somebody is saying, ask to verify again, just so things can be avoided. Then here on a better note, we have the full moon on the 20th as well. This is in the very last degree of Sagittarius. And for you, that is in the 8th house. So the 8th house has to do with money and resources shared between you and your partner. It doesn't just have to be your significant other. It could be people you partner with. Royalties and commissions come in under this. Any kind of payouts, investments, that kind of thing, or maybe even new investments. Even though I would say it might not be the best month to invest your money because of all the retrogrades and so forth, and the squares and the oppositions, but there should be some illumination regardless taking place. But it's right on the cusp to the 9th house, which has to do with long distance travel. You might be planning something, or planning your vacation time, for example. And then the month ends on a beautiful note. Jupiter, which is now direct after it being retrograde from New Year's to that of May 9th, 10th, is now coming in with a beautiful golden beam to Pluto. Pluto in your chart is in that 9th house, and Jupiter is in the 5th house. So the 5th and the 9th, when they play together, it wants to expand, it wants to have fun, it wants to enjoy. It might have to do with vacation, long distance travel, or whatnot. At least plans being made if you're not traveling in itself. And if you are traveling, you should have a great time right now. And then on the 27th, we have Venus and Neptune coming in with a golden beam, which is also allowing you now some good news. Venus now in that 3rd house, communication and so forth, and kind of angling up there to the 11th house of hopes and dreams. So it's ending on a great vibe and opening up the door for July and what we can expect there for next month, Taurus. So be sure to listen to your Tauroscopes that I've posted to for June, just to see what now you can come to expect on that level. More different type of information coming up just for you personally. And I'll see you next month. Bye now.